Welcome to our deep dive, everybody. Today, we're going to be taking a look at entrepreneurship in the digital age.
Okay.
And we're going to be dissecting a conversation between entrepreneur Daniel Priestley
Mm-hmm.
and Stephen Bartlett from Bartlett's The Diary of a CEO YouTube channel.
Okay.
Priestley has some pretty bold claims about how the rules of success have changed.
Right.
And I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this and how all this applies to you.
Yeah, I'm excited to jump in. Priestley's ideas are always super thought-provoking,
Yeah.
especially I think for anyone who's maybe feeling a little lost or overwhelmed with how fast things are changing in the business world today.
Yeah, no, he definitely doesn't sugarcoat anything.
Right.
He pretty much says that the old playbook for success is obsolete.
Yeah.
He calls it a shift from the industrial age to the digital age.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it's left a lot of people feeling lost.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Is he being overly dramatic?
I think he's onto something.
Okay.
If you think about it, the way we connect with each other, the way we get information,
Right.
the way we build businesses even, it's fundamentally changed in the last, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's natural to feel a bit disoriented. Priestley highlights feelings of like invisibility, stuckness, even fear of being replaced by AI.
Right.
Do any of those resonate with you?
Definitely. Yeah. It's so easy to just feel like you're shouting into the void sometimes,
Yeah.
especially when you're first starting out, trying to get a new business venture off the ground.
Right.
But, Priestley also seems pretty optimistic about the opportunities that come with this digital age.
Yeah.
He is a big proponent of personal branding,
Yeah.
even going as far as to say it's the new currency.
He does.
So,
And I think it's worth exploring why
Right.
he calls it becoming a key person of influence.
okay.
And it's not about, chasing millions of followers.
Right.
It's about building a strong personal brand within a specific niche
Okay.
to attract the right people and resources. So investors, talent, future customers.
Right.
It's like building a magnet for the things that you need to succeed.
Okay, but everyone and their mother is talking about personal branding these days.
Right.
So how do you actually cut through all the noise and stand out?
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Priestley argues that the human brain is kind of wired to just filter out all this information overload that we experience.
Right.
He says there are 5 things it won't delete easily.
Okay.
Things that are scary, strange, sexy, offer free value, and feel familiar.
All right, so free value and familiar, those make sense.
Yeah.
We've all seen how putting out consistent, valuable content can help build an audience.
Yeah.
But strange and sexy. I mean, should we all be incorporating shock value into our business plans?
Not necessarily.
Mhm.
Think of it more like finding your unique angle.
Okay.
Something that disrupts expectations in your niche.
Mm-hmm.
Priestley calls this peacocking.
Okay.
Remember Stephen Bartlett's signature hat?
Yeah.
It's like a really memorable visual tactic that helped him stand out
Right.
in a sea of faces.
So it's more about being a thought leader and not just a fashion leader.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it. But let's get a little bit practical here.
Okay.
Say you have this great business idea.
Mhm.
How do you know if it's actually going to be viable before you invest a ton of time and money into it?
Yeah, Priestley suggests a really interesting approach. He calls it productizing the demo and customer needs analysis.
Okay.
It's all about testing demand
Okay.
before you go investing in supply.
Okay. I'm in tight. Break that down for me.
Okay, so imagine you have an idea for like a revolutionary new productivity app.
Okay.
Instead of like immediately building the app,
Right.
you create a mock-up or a demo that showcases the core features and benefits.
Okay.
Then you reach out to potential customers and offer to conduct a needs analysis at your expense.
Right.
You're essentially giving away valuable insight
Right.
in exchange for feedback and data on their willingness to pay for the solution that you're proposing.
So it's kind of like a win.
Exactly.
You're providing value up front, but you're also getting that crucial information about your target market.
Right.
That's clever.
It is.
But what if you're not in like the tech world?
Yeah.
Does this approach still apply?
Absolutely. Priestley even used this method to test demand for a book idea.
Oh, wow.
Before writing a single word, he ran Facebook ads featuring different book titles
Okay.
and tracked the click-through rates. He discovered that certain titles resonated way more strongly with his audience.
Okay.
And this validated the concept before he even invested months into writing.
That's brilliant. It's like this low-risk way to peek into the minds of your audience.
Yeah.
See what they're really interested in.
Totally.
Man, I wish I knew about that before I spent months on that screenplay that no one wanted to read.
Oh, no.
But, okay, so let's say you have a validated idea.
Mm-hmm.
how do you know if it's the right fit for you?
Right.
There are plenty of businesses out there that I'm sure would be profitable,
Yeah.
but would also make me completely miserable to run.
That's where Priestley's entrepreneur sweet spot framework comes in.
Okay.
He visualizes it as a Venn diagram
Mm-hmm.
with 3 overlapping circles.
Okay.
Your passion,
Mm-hmm.
saving a problem that people care about,
Okay.
and getting paid for it.
I love that. It's a good reminder that successful businesses aren't just about chasing money.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot where you're actually making a difference. You're
Yeah.
enjoying what you're doing,
Right.
and you're being rewarded for your efforts.
Exactly. It's about aligning your work with your values and finding that sweet spot
Yeah,
where passion, purpose, and profit all come together.
that's great. But even with the perfect idea,
Yeah,
you still need to be able to communicate it effectively, right?
absolutely.
You can have the most brilliant solution, but if you can't articulate its value, it's going nowhere.
Yeah, Priestley believes that writing and publishing are really crucial tools for honing your message
Right.
and building your influence.
Mm-hmm.
He calls the entrepreneurial journey a journey of 1,000 pitches.
Okay.
You're constantly refining your ideas and connecting with people.
So it's not just about, writing the best-selling book.
Right.
It's about consistently putting your thoughts out there,
Yeah,
whether it's through blog posts or articles, tweets, even just thoughtful conversations online.
exactly. It's about clarifying your message, building credibility, and becoming known for your unique perspective.
Right.
And Priestley even shares his personal story
Okay.
about writing key person of influence during the 2009 financial crisis.
Oh, wow.
So instead of, succumbing to the chaos,
Right.
he channeled his energy into creating something valuable.
So he turned a time of immense uncertainty into an opportunity to actually build his platform.
Precisely.
Wow.
And that kind of proactive approach, that willingness to create amidst disruption,
Yeah,
that's a hallmark of successful entrepreneurs.
for sure. But let's be real for a second.
Okay.
Building a successful business, even a small one,
Yeah.
it's hard work.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that, entrepreneurs should be prepared for?
Yeah.
What's the potential downside here?
Well, Priestley's pretty candid about the challenges. He points out that we're often kind of ill-equipped for entrepreneurship
Mhm.
because, traditional education and societal norms, they still cling to that old industrial model.
Yeah, it's like we're given one set of rules and then thrown into a game with completely different rules.
Exactly.
No wonder so many entrepreneurs feel lost.
Yeah, and overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
We're told don't be disruptive, don't be an attention seeker, find a stable job.
Right.
And these messages clash with the entrepreneurial spirit,
Yeah.
which thrives on risk-taking, challenging norms,
Yeah.
putting yourself out there
Yeah.
in ways that can feel uncomfortable at first.
It takes courage to break free from those old narratives, for sure.
Yeah.
And embrace that uncertainty
Mm-hmm.
and constant learning that comes with entrepreneurship.
Totally.
And it's not just our mindset either.
Right.
The systems around us are evolving too.
Yeah.
Governments, institutions,
Yeah.
even tax policies often lag behind the realities of this digital, globally connected world.
Yeah, he uses this example of recent tax changes in the UK.
Okay.
He argues that in a world where talent and capital can move freely,
Mhm.
governments really need to create attractive environments for entrepreneurs. Otherwise, those driving innovation and job creation might just go elsewhere.
They'll go where the environment is better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a global competition for talent.
So those countries that can adapt to these new rules, foster that entrepreneurial spirit,
Yeah.
they're going to be the ones that thrive.
Right.
Makes you wonder where that leaves the U.S. in this landscape.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still a major player, right?
Priestley sees the U.S. as having a lot going for it.
Okay.
Large and diverse economy,
Hmm.
energy independence,
Yep.
strong universities.
Right.
But he also points out some of the challenges,
Oh, it's like what?
like a high tax burden
Right.
and the need to really invest in infrastructure and education that supports innovation and entrepreneurship.
So it's like we have all the right ingredients for continued success,
Yeah.
but we need to make sure we're using them wisely
Yeah.
to create an environment that, attracts and nurtures those who are building the future.
Totally.
And speaking of the future, we can't ignore the elephant in the room,
What's that?
AI.
Right.
Priestley believes we're still in the very early stages of this AI revolution
Mm-hmm.
and that the opportunities are vast.
He makes a really compelling comparison to the early days of electricity. We had power stations,
Yeah.
but it took us decades to develop all those appliances that transformed our lives.
Right, like the toaster.
Yeah, toasters, refrigerators, vacuum cleaners,
Yeah.
all of that.
Right.
Liv.
So for those listening who might not have a tech background,
Yeah.
Is it even possible for, like, the average person to get involved in these AI opportunities?
Absolutely. Priestley outlines a really clear path, kind of a pyramid of progression
Okay.
that anyone can follow.
Okay.
And it starts with moving beyond selling your time and skills
Right.
and into creating intellectual property.
So packaging your knowledge,
Yeah.
expertise into something shareable
Yeah.
and scalable,
Mm-hmm.
like a book.
Yeah, a book, an online course, a unique framework.
He uses the example of Stephen Covey,
Oh, yeah.
who, before Seven Habits, was just a consultant.
Right.
He took the time to reflect on his experiences, synthesize his insights,
Yeah.
package them into a book that resonated with millions.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's incredible.
How a single book born from someone's unique perspective
Yeah.
can have such a profound impact.
Yeah, it really can.
And once you've kind of established yourself as a creator of intellectual property,
Yeah.
the next level is to layer in data and software.
Okay.
This is where you start capturing information about your audience,
Mhm.
understanding their needs,
Right.
and using technology to amplify your reach and impact.
So things like building an email list,
Yeah.
conducting surveys, analyzing website traffic,
Yeah.
even developing like simple AI tools to automate tasks or personalize customer experiences.
Exactly. And as you progress, you're not just building a personal brand.
Yeah.
You're building a valuable business that can eventually even be sold as a financial asset.
Wow.
But even with all this talk about building businesses,
Right.
Priestley doesn't shy away from the personal side of entrepreneurship.
Right.
He talks about work-life balance, something I know a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with.
Yeah, especially in those early stages.
Yeah. He's quite candid about the fact that he didn't have much balance for many years.
Mhm.
He dedicated himself to his work. He found fulfillment in building his businesses.
Yeah, I think that resonates with a lot of passionate entrepreneurs
Yeah.
that drive to create something new.
Yeah,
It can often take precedence over other areas of life,
for sure.
at least for a while.
He acknowledges that as his life evolved,
Okay.
with marriage and children, he needed a more sustainable approach.
All right.
That's where the idea of seasons and sprints comes in.
Okay, so explain that.
So there will be periods of intense focus, those sprints,
Mm-hmm.
where work takes center stage.
Right.
But these should be balanced with seasons of rest, rejuvenation,
Okay.
connection with loved ones.
So it's not about this perfect 50-50 balance every day.
No.
It's about recognizing the ebb and flow of life
Yeah,
and adjusting priorities accordingly.
exactly.
But there's another interesting twist here.
Oh,
Priestley says he doesn't set specific goals anymore.
really?
Yeah, I had to admit that surprised me.
I can imagine.
So how does he stay focused and motivated without a clear roadmap?
He explains that as his personal brand grew,
Okay.
his opportunities became less predictable.
Okay.
He found that setting these rigid goals actually limited his ability to seize unexpected opportunities.
Right?
So instead of forcing his path,
Yeah.
he creates space for those serendipitous encounters, collaborations, those happy accidents that lead to the most rewarding experiences.
So it's more about attracting opportunities rather than chasing them?
Yeah.
It's like that saying, a river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence.
Oh, I like that.
By consistently creating value,
Yeah.
building relationships,
Mm.
you create this current that draws opportunities towards you.
It's a more organic approach,
Yeah.
but incredibly powerful in today's world.
But even without specific goals, Priestley still has a framework for evaluating opportunity potential.
Okay, what's that?
He distinguishes between what he calls bell curve opportunities and power law opportunities.
Ah, those again.
We talked about them earlier in relation to careers and businesses.
Yeah.
Can you remind us how they apply to evaluating opportunities in general?
Of course. So bell curve opportunities have limited upside.
Okay.
Your potential gains are relatively predictable
Okay.
and confined within a certain range.
Mm-hmm.
Think of a traditional job with a set salary scale
Right.
or a small business in a saturated market.
Okay.
Your growth potential is capped by the inherent limitations of the opportunity.
Like trying to climb a mountain with a set height.
Exactly.
No matter how hard you try, you can only go so high.
Right, exactly.
Power law opportunities, on the other hand,
Yeah,
offer exponential growth.
they do.
They involve leverage, whether through technology, partnerships, or large networks,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the potential for these really outsized returns.
Exactly. Think of building a personal brand that reaches millions,
Right.
developing a scalable software product,
Yeah.
investing in a startup that disrupts a massive industry.
So Priestley really encourages entrepreneurs to be discerning,
He does.
to focus on opportunities that align with their strengths and aspirations,
Mm-hmm.
And to be brave enough to step into the realm of that exponential growth,
For sure.
it's about recognizing that not all opportunities are created equal,
Yeah.
and that by aligning ourselves with those that have the greatest potential,
Yeah.
we can really maximize our impact.
Totally.
But success isn't just about these external achievements, is it?
Yeah.
It's also about fulfillment, purpose,
Mm.
even our own well-being.
Absolutely. Priestley emphasizes that success is multifaceted.
Okay.
He shares this personal anecdote about neglecting his own health
Mm-hmm.
while he was intensely focused on building his businesses.
Okay.
It wasn't until a health scare
Oh, wow.
that he realized the importance of prioritizing well-being.
So he had to learn the hard way.
Kinda, yeah.
Self-care isn't selfish.
It's not, no.
It's essential.
Right, we can't pour from an empty cup.
That's a good reminder. We often need to hear that.
Yeah, we do.
But speaking of pouring from an empty cup,
Yeah.
we've been talking a lot about building businesses,
Mm-hmm.
achieving goals.
Right.
What about those times when you just feel stuck, frustrated,
Yeah.
just plain empty?
Yeah, it happens.
What advice does Priestley have for navigating those moments of doubt?
He offers this really powerful reminder.
Okay.
Environment dictates performance.
Okay.
If you're surrounded by negativity,
Right.
people who doubt your dreams,
Yeah.
it's incredibly difficult to break free.
Yeah.
You need to consciously choose the people and environments that support your growth.
Birds of a feather flock together, as they say.
Exactly.
So how do you actually shift your environment in a tangible way?
He suggests seeking out physically higher places
Okay.
for a fresh perspective.
Interesting.
Maybe meeting with someone further along in their journey in an inspiring setting,
Okay.
or immersing yourself in a community of like-minded individuals.
Right, like an accelerator program?
Yeah, an accelerator program, a mastermind group,
Mhm.
even just connecting with other entrepreneurs online.
Yeah, finding your tribe, those who understand your struggles
Totally.
and aspirations.
Speaking of community,
Yeah.
Priestley actually encourages listeners to connect with each other
Oh, cool.
in the comment section of Bartlett's video.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It's a way to turn passive listening into an active community of support and inspiration.
You never know. Those connections could lead to collaborations.
Yeah.
Or even lifelong friendships.
It's amazing how a simple conversation can spark such a ripple effect.
Yeah.
This interconnectedness is at the heart of what makes the digital age so exciting.
Yeah.
We have access to information, resources, communities that were unimaginable just a few decades ago.
It's a time of unprecedented opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
For those willing to embrace the new rules, step outside their comfort zones,
Mm-hmm.
and build a future aligned with their values
Absolutely.
to inspired action.
Yeah.
Priestley suggests a simple exercise for listeners who are feeling lost or overwhelmed.
Okay, what is it?
Leave a comment on the video sharing your current situation.
Okay.
Goals, desire to connect.
Okay.
Start your comment with a waving emoji
Oh, cute.
to signal your willingness to connect and build community.
I love it.
It's simple, but powerful.
Yeah.
It's a way to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Open yourself up to new possibilities.
Sure.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
we need to revisit a crucial aspect of entrepreneurship,
What's that?
financial strategies.
Right.
Priestley has some pretty thought-provoking views on this.
He does, yeah.
And they really challenge some traditional thinking.
Yeah, he's not a fan of trying to outperform the market or obsessing over every penny.
Mm-hmm.
He believes the real game is in creating value.
Okay.
Building businesses that generate substantial returns, not just financially,
Yeah.
but through their positive impact on the world.
Okay.
So instead of focusing on squeezing every last penny from your investments,
Right.
you're investing in yourself, your ideas,
Mm-hmm.
building something with the potential to create real wealth for yourself and others.
It's a much more expansive view of wealth creation.
Yeah,
Dare I say optimistic.
it is.
It's not about scarcity. It's about abundance.
Exactly.
And it requires a long-term perspective,
Yeah.
a willingness to play the long game,
Mm-hmm.
and a belief and the power of compound growth.
It's about planting seeds,
Yes.
nurturing them patiently,
Yeah.
and knowing that with the right care and attention,
Yeah,
they will eventually bear fruit.
I love that.
But he also acknowledges
Yeah.
there will be times when we need to adjust our approach,
Mhm.
shift our focus,
Okay.
let go of what's no longer serving us.
Right. So give me an example.
He uses the example of goal setting.
Okay.
For years, he was a meticulous goal setter.
Mm-hmm.
But as his career evolved, he realized that these rigid goals were actually limiting his potential.
Okay.
So he made a conscious decision
Mm-hmm.
to embrace the unknown,
Okay.
create space for serendipity.
Yeah.
He realized it was more effective to attract opportunities than to chase them.
Right. Right.
It required a shift in mindset,
Yeah.
surrendering to the flow of life,
Mm-hmm.
trusting in the power of showing up consistently and creating value.
It's a powerful lesson, for sure.
It is.
Sometimes the best way to achieve our goals is to let go of our attachment to them.
Yeah.
Focus on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Trust that the right opportunities will come.
And that trust requires a deep understanding of our own strengths and values, the impact we want to make,
Yeah.
the legacy we want to leave.
It's not just about those external markers of success.
Wow.
It's about aligning our actions with our deepest aspirations
Exactly.
and creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling.
Beautifully said.
But even with the best intentions,
Yeah.
there were the times when we feel lost
Mm-hmm.
or discouraged.
Of course.
How does Priestley suggest we navigate those dips in the entrepreneurial roller coaster?
He reminds us that even the most successful entrepreneurs are still human.
Yeah,
They experience doubts and anxieties just like the rest of us.
right.
He shares an anecdote about a young female founder he's been mentoring.
Okay.
She's built a successful company,
Mm-hmm.
on track to generate millions in revenue.
Wow.
But she's also experiencing that emotional roller coaster
Right.
that comes with that level of responsibility and pressure.
It's reassuring to know that even those at the top of their game still go through those ups and downs.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes those challenges feel less daunting,
Right.
less isolating.
And Priestley reminds us that there's no shame in asking for help.
Right.
Seeking guidance from mentors or other entrepreneurs who have navigated similar paths.
It takes a village.
Exactly.
We don't have to do it all alone.
We don't.
There are people who want to see us succeed
Yeah.
and can offer those valuable insights and support.
And that spirit of collaboration,
Yeah.
of sharing knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
That's one of the most beautiful aspects of entrepreneurship.
I love that sense of community
Yeah.
coming together to create something bigger than ourselves.
It's a powerful antidote to those feelings of isolation and overwhelm that can sometimes creep in.
Yeah, and it reminds us that success isn't a finite resource.
Right.
There's enough to go around for everyone.
Exactly. The more we support each other, the more we lift each other up, the
Mhm.
greater the abundance we can all create.
So it's not just about achieving our own individual goals.
No.
It's about creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, to pursue their passions, to distribute their unique talents and gifts.
And that, I think, is a vision worth striving for.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that entrepreneurship isn't just about building businesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's about building a better future for ourselves and for generations to come.
And on that note,
Okay.
we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive into the world of entrepreneurship and success in the digital age.
We're back.
It's inspiring to hear Priestley view entrepreneurship as, a force for positive change.
Yeah.
Like it's not just about personal gain, but making a real impact on the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious, what happens when those inevitable bumps in the road show up?
Right.
How do you stay resilient, when things get tough?
Priestley emphasizes that even seasoned entrepreneurs face moments of self-doubt and uncertainty.
Right.
He tells a story about his experience during the 2009 financial crisis.
Okay.
His businesses were struggling, he was losing revenue,
Mm-hmm.
and he felt completely lost.
That must have been so challenging.
Yeah.
Sounds like the kind of situation that would make anyone want to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
How do you bounce back from that?
Instead of giving in to despair,
Yeah.
Priestley started...
Oh, right.
He poured his energy into a book called Key Person of Influence,
Mm-hmm.
where he argued that personal branding would become essential in the digital age.
And look how right he was.
Right.
It just goes to show you,
Yeah,
the power of finding opportunity amidst disruption.
for sure.
But I think a lot of people struggle with, how to create something valuable
Yeah,
when they're feeling overwhelmed or lost.
right.
Any advice on that front?
Priestley is a big advocate for tapping into your existing knowledge and experience.
Okay.
He believes everyone has a unique perspective to offer,
Right.
and that sharing that perspective can be incredibly valuable.
Mm-hmm.
He uses the example of Stephen Covey, who, before writing 7 Habits of Highly Effective People,
Right.
was just a consultant working with businesses and churches.
Okay.
Covey took the time to reflect on his experiences,
Yeah.
synthesize his insights,
Right.
and package them into a book that resonated with millions.
It's amazing how a single book, born from someone's personal journey,
Yeah,
can have such a profound impact.
it really is.
But writing a book can feel like such a daunting task,
It can.
especially when you're already juggling a million things.
Yeah,
What about those of us who are just starting out
right.
or who don't have time for such a big project?
Priestley emphasizes that creating intellectual property doesn't have to be this massive undertaking. It
Okay.
can be as simple as writing a blog post,
Right.
creating a short video,
Yeah.
or even sharing your thoughts in a thoughtful social media post.
Okay.
The key is to consistently put yourself out there,
Right.
share your unique perspective,
Yeah.
engage with your audience.
So it's not about the format or the length.
Right.
It's about the value that you're providing.
Mm-hmm.
The consistency with which you share it.
Yeah.
It's about building that connection with your audience
Yeah.
over time.
Exactly.
And as you build that connection,
Yeah.
you start to attract opportunities.
Right.
Priestley reminds us that in the digital age, success often comes from attracting opportunities rather than chasing them.
Yeah. I love that.
It's about shifting from that scarcity mindset
Yeah.
to an abundance mindset.
Until
But how do you actually attract those opportunities?
Right.
Is it just a matter of putting yourself out there and hoping for the best?
It's more than just hoping.
Okay.
It's about aligning your actions with your aspirations.
Mhm.
Priestley encourages entrepreneurs to be discerning about the opportunities they pursue.
Okay.
He distinguishes between what he calls bell curve opportunities
Okay.
and power law opportunities.
We've talked about those before, but I
Yes.
think it's worth revisiting them
Yeah.
in this context.
Okay.
Can you remind us how those concepts apply to evaluating opportunity?
So bell curve opportunities offer limited upside.
Okay.
Your potential gains are predictable and confined within a certain range.
Mm-hmm.
Think of a traditional job with a set salary scale,
Right.
or a small business operating in a saturated market.
So even with hard work and dedication, you're unlikely to experience exponential growth,
Right.
like climbing a mountain with a set height.
Exactly.
Power haul opportunities, on the other hand,
Yeah.
offer the potential for exponential growth.
They do.
These opportunities often involve leverage,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's through technology, partnerships, or access to large networks.
Right. So things like building a personal brand that reaches millions of people,
Yeah.
developing a scalable software product,
Mm-hmm.
investing in a disruptive startup.
Priestley encourages entrepreneurs to be bold in their choices,
He does.
to focus on those opportunities that align with their strengths and aspirations,
Yeah.
and to be brave enough to step out of those predictable bell curves
Right.
into the realm of exponential growth.
It's about recognizing that not all opportunities are created equal,
Yeah,
and that by aligning ourselves with those that have the greatest potential,
right.
we can maximize our impact
Yeah.
and accelerate our journey towards success.
And speaking of success,
Yeah.
Priestley reminds us that true success isn't just about external achievements.
No, it's not.
It's about building a life of meaning and purpose,
Yeah.
and finding that sweet spot where passion, purpose, and profit intersect.
I love that.
It's not just about the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating a life that feels fulfilling and aligned with your values.
And part of creating that fulfilling life is prioritizing your well-being.
Right.
Priestley shares a personal story about a time when he was so focused on building his businesses
Yeah.
that he neglected his own health.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't until he experienced a health scare that he realized the importance of self-care.
It's a reminder a lot of entrepreneurs need to hear.
Yeah, we do.
We get so caught up in the hustle that we forget to take care of ourselves.
He emphasizes that self-care is not selfish.
Right.
It's essential.
We can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
By taking care of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being,
Yeah.
we're actually enhancing our ability to create, to innovate,
Mm-hmm.
to make a positive impact on the world.
Right. It's about finding that sustainable rhythm, that
Yeah.
balance between striving and thriving.
It reminds me of Priestley's advice to embrace those seasons of rest and rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Life isn't a sprint, it's a marathon.
That's a great analogy.
Now, speaking of marathons, let's talk about the long game of building wealth.
Okay.
Priestley challenges the traditional advice of, squirreling away small amounts of money
Yeah.
or trying to time the market.
Right.
He believes the real game is in creating value,
Mm-hmm.
in building businesses that generate substantial returns,
Yeah.
not just financially,
Right.
but through the positive impact they have on the world.
It's a shift in perspective, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not just about accumulating wealth for yourself. It's about creating something that benefits others as well.
Exactly. And it requires a long-term perspective,
Yeah.
a willingness to play the long game,
Mm-hmm.
belief in the power of compound growth.
It's about planting those seeds,
Yeah.
nurturing them patiently,
Yeah.
knowing that with the right care and attention,
Mhm.
they will eventually bear fruit.
It's a beautiful metaphor. It really is.
Yeah.
And a powerful reminder that success doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It takes time, effort,
Yeah.
a willingness to embrace the journey with all of its ups and downs.
And sometimes that journey takes unexpected turns.
Right.
Priestley shares how he used to be a meticulous goal setter.
Okay.
But as his career evolved, he realized that rigid goals were actually limiting his potential.
Right.
So he made a conscious decision to let go of that need for control, embrace the unknown.
Yeah.
He started creating space for serendipitous encounters, unexpected collaborations.
Right, those happy accidents that
Yeah.
often lead to the most rewarding experiences.
Exactly.
It's about trusting that the right opportunities will come your way,
Yeah,
even if they don't always look the way you expected.
right.
I imagine that takes a lot of courage,
It does.
willingness to step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's why Priestley emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people.
Right, your tribe.
Exactly. He encourages listeners to connect with each other.
Yeah.
In the comments section of the YouTube video,
Mm.
build a community of support and inspiration.
Who knows, maybe those connections could lead to collaborations.
Yeah, partnerships or even lifelong friendships.
It's a powerful reminder that we're not in this alone.
We're not.
There are others out there facing similar challenges
Yeah.
who have valuable insights to share
Yeah,
and who can help us navigate the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey.
exactly. And it ties back to Priestley's belief that environment dictates performance.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with the right people,
Mm-hmm.
the ones who inspire and challenge you.
Yeah.
And you'll be amazed at what you can achieve.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground
I
today,
have.
exploring those challenges and opportunities of entrepreneurship in the digital age.
Yeah, we've learned about the power of personal branding,
Right?
importance of creating intellectual property,
Mm-hmm.
the need to be discerning about the opportunities we pursue,
Yes.
and that essential role of self-care and community in achieving sustainable success.
It's been a thought-provoking conversation.
It has.
I hope it's inspired listeners to think differently about their own entrepreneurial journeys.
Me too.
I'm walking away with a renewed sense of possibility,
Yeah.
deeper understanding of what it takes to thrive in this ever-evolving world.
So, to our listeners, I
Mhm.
encourage you to embrace the unknown.
Yeah.
Step outside your comfort zones, connect with like-minded individuals,
Yep.
and never stop learning and growing.
As Priestley reminds us, you are already standing on a mountain of value.
That's right.
Recognize your own worth.
Yeah.
Share your unique gifts with the world.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop creating, innovating, and making a positive impact.
Beautifully said.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.